Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bubba here on the morning of Thursday, November 26, 2020, Turkey Day. Yep, Thanksgiving. And today being Thanksgiving, no thanks today because there's no thanks to be given. You guys messed it all up. But I wanted to do a special on 1620 to 2020. The English virus. And since we got the coronavirus here, there's a lot of other viruses that are corona related out there, SARS. And you guys are saying, well, this is a bad virus. Well, same with the English virus. It's related to the human virus that you got. Bigotry, hatred, killing your fellow human being, enslaving your fellow human being. And that's not a European or English tradition. That's planet-wide. You go into all the civilizations that ever was on this planet, and they all practice these at one time or the other. So you can't blame whites, African Americans, because your race did it to yourselves. Centuries. They sold them to the Romans. They sold them to the Egyptians. Yes. So be that as it may, the English virus, 400 years ago, a group of dissatisfied English boarded this rickety boat named the Mayflower, and you guys glorify them as the Pilgrims. Really? Remember, you had a earlier settlement in Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. But these guys here that went to Plymouth, Massachusetts, a very bad place to go in the first place. In the second place, it was starting the winter. Bad place to start a settlement at. In the third place, you can look at the players that were in that ship, like Bradford and all the other players, and you can put their names and substitute them for AOC. Trump, Schumer, Pelosi, the stupid American people would go in there too. You are just reaping the benefits that came with that boat. There was so much factions and not even consensus, not even compromise going on that boat. How they survived that winter? Well, the Indians helped them. The savages. So in 1621, they had their Thanksgiving, and that didn't last long, did it? Because here, 400 years later, you guys are the reaping of the sowing that came in on that boat of Mayflower. You got, like I said, AOC. You got Schumer, you got Pelosi, you got McConnell, you got Trump, and you got Rand Paul, and Warnock, John Ossoff, and a whole bunch of other folks, which have their own factions, agendas, and are not human beings. They lost a lot of people that winter, which they don't tell you in your pilgrim books. The settlement was almost wiped out if it wasn't for the Indians. They had no provisions to last a very rough winter, and you know the Cape Cod winters can be rough. And what happened after 1620? Well, a lot of other people came by. You had the Puritans that went over there to Salem, nearby. And then you had the Massachusetts Bay Colony, otherwise known as Boston, that came by in 1630. And they took center stage. You pilgrims were relegated to obscurity except for Thanksgiving Day and that turkey. Yeah. They should put that more history in there. Because your ancestors that came on that Mayflower, and there's still some descendants of the people from that boat, created this mess. It's a virus. That's why I call it the English virus. There are dissensions. And the people that came after them, because the English were dissenters, starting way back from 1066. Then you had the War of the Roses. And when they did this voyage in 1620, you had James I, which was a very unpopular ruler from Scotland to boot. Right, British? Scottish king on the throne. Yeah. Plus, when he died 5 years later, he had left the treasury almost empty and an angry people. And his son wasn't any better, Charles I. He got his head off in 1649. That allowed you guys here that made those colonies in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and all those eastern states to be whoever you were. Because for the next century and a half, you guys did what the hell you wanted, because, you had the James I disaster, the Charles I nightmare, and then you had the Civil War. The British had their Civil War too, remember, Americans? They cost him his head. Then you have reinstated the monarchy back in 1660 with Charles II and his brother James II, who got thrown out because he wanted to be a Catholic. Yeah, Roger Williams and you guys from Maryland, yoo-hoo, Catholics, hey, yoo-hoo. I'm talking to you. Anyway, you had those. So you see, the English tried to throw other factions that were causing problems in England. Here, they succeeded for the most part. There's still a lot of pain in the neck British out there. But they wiped most of their stuff out between 1620 and 1680. Except for one guy who came a little later in 1682, William Penn and the Quakers. Yeah. And that caused the English virus, which you Americans are reaping the seeds and the benefits of 1620 on forward to about 1682 now, with the likes of Pelosi, Trump, Schumer, AOC, Rand Paul, McConnell, and those dumb American people who vote for him. So this is what you got Thanksgiving for. Thankful. So be thankful for what you got in 1620. Because you're reaping the benefits today with the coronavirus. Another virus who's come back to say, hey, I'm worse than your virus that you had when you had the English. Good day.